To another CEO Wisdom Pod. We have Marios Kyriakou with us today. He's CEO at Mirror 3D Lab and Darefore. He's currently CEO there and mainly deals with 3D capturing and visualizations. Recently developed the innovative cycling tech suite Darefore. So we're going to talk about that today. He's in Cyprus. I've lived in Cyprus for a couple of months. Beautiful place. I'm in Mexico right now. And podbuyer.com is presenting this podcast. Podbuyer is my podcasting agency. We help you get leads through podcast funnels like this one. You can convert 10% of the folks you speak to on a podcast into clients. It's a genius method, authentic method to get clients nowadays. You can go to podbuyer.com. Marios, welcome to the pod. Tell me a bit more about yourself and what you're up to nowadays.
All right. Thank you, Charles, for the invitation and for the hosting. Well, I'm in Mirror 3D Lab, where we developed Darefore, and we have been working on this project for some years now. We eventually developed a product that is in the market now. It's a complete tech suite for cyclists and triathletes that is consisted of both hardware and software. We have an innovative sensor that is put on the back of the cyclist to monitor the cycling position and other metrics that I can elaborate later. Together, we have developed applications and a very useful and complete platform that works online, where all of the cycling data can be analyzed and presented to the user in a very comprehensive way, taking into consideration not only the traditional cycling metrics like the power, speed, heart rate, cadence, and balance, but also the cycling position, which is a major thing for cyclists and triathletes, since the cycling position affects their performance and their speed. So we found a way that we can present and offer to the user, to cyclists, a very easy application and sensor to monitor and correct their cycling position in real time.
Yeah, I love that. So how did you first get the company idea? Why did you decide to launch this?
All right. Firstly, let's say a couple of things about me and my co-founder, Panayotis. We are both researchers who have PhD in computer science, and we love data analysis and 3D motion analysis too. We are also passionate triathletes. So during our training and participation in races, especially in triathlon, we saw an opportunity. We saw a market gap there. We struggled to maintain our aero position in real time in a certain percentage, and we couldn't understand exactly what is our corrected ideal position in certain circumstances. So taking that into consideration, and also our expertise in 3D motion analysis and some soft skills that we had, we saw that the technology is mature. We have the ability to get a lot of sensors and try them and understand how they work. So combining these two characteristics of us, the research and the triathlon passion, we had eventually developed this product.
Right. And what was a game changer for you to develop that product? Was it to cut time? I see like injury prevention as well. Is the position on the bike like going to prevent injury? Like what was the aha moment that led you to create that one?
Right. So we mainly address two major things. The first is how we use in a smart way the data that is provided from several sensors. Firstly, from our sensor, the position sensor, heart rate sensor, power sensor, and balance sensor. to get insights how we can improve the performance, which is correlated to all these metrics, but in the same time, how we can use those data to prevent injuries. So having these two main axes, we developed our own algorithms, estimate, firstly, how we can improve our performance, maintaining a certain heart rate, improving the power output of the user, using their profile, their heart rate zones, their power zones, and their whole athlete profile. And at the same time, not get in dangerous zones so that they could get in a fatigue zone, or they could have some imbalances during the sessions and during their training. Having those in mind, we have developed some algorithms that presents some trends in a certain timeline, and gives you an idea exactly in which situation you are right now compared to the past.
Right. And is this product for a very competitive athlete, or is it like for the normal weekend warrior that goes out on a bike ride?
We started firstly addressing the elite and the very competitive athletes. So we wanted to give them an elite tool, to give them let's say an advantage to compare to others, so that they know what exactly their cycling position is in real time and how they can correct it and fine-tuning it. But working on it, we saw that it can be easily adapted by, let's say, more basic athletes that want to have it as a hobby and to prevent injuries, to get better, to see some more analytics, people that would like to have more data analysis in their daily analysis of their sessions. And it is actually a very powerful tool for anyone that takes his training a little bit more serious.
And why does it go in the back? Like, because you mentioned like heart rate as well. Like, does it actually measure the heart rate from the back too?
Yeah, this is the sensor. So we have developed our own strap, custom strap, where the pads are coming in front. So the sensor is on your back, but the straps come in front, and they come exactly on your chest at the height of your heart. And we have 99.6 about accuracy of the heart rate beats. And we take inclination of your back, 13 measurements per second. This we can estimate so the exact inclination of your torso, of your back, and we correlate it to a certain cyclic position. So if you are, let's say, riding a road bike, we have the comfortable position, we have the aggressive position, and also we have the aero position. For it, we have some default ranges for these different positions, but each user can use our app to set his own custom positions. This can be done very easily with a tool that we have developed, step-by-step guide. If you are using now a TT bike, then there are some different positions, a comfortable and the TT position, and the ranges changes. So our sensor and our app can be easily used to monitor exactly in which angle you are, and immediately it presents you to what cycling position you are at that same time.
Right. And you said 13 measurements per second. Is it mostly like a gyroscope? Is that what's in the technology? And what else are you measuring in there? And what do you have on the roadmap as well?
We have IMU sensor inside, along with the heart rate sensor. So the IMU is gyro accelerometer. And we can exactly know in which angle you are real time. Yes, we have some filtering also in the sensor so that we don't have any drifting during the time, since it is a sport We have the specimen use movement. So we have successfully developed our algorithm that uses certain filters to avoid these driftings. The sensor and the application can be used both indoor and outdoor. If it's outdoor, we are connected also with any other third-party sensors that you have, and also we get the GPS from other devices like a watch or a cycling computer. But if it's indoor, we provide a speed estimation that is defined by the power output, the CDA that you have according to your cyclic position. For the people that they don't know what is a CDA, it's a drag coefficient, which is exactly how much resistance you have against the wind, and it's very related to your cycling position. Sorry, you are muted, Charles.
How many customers do you have right now?
All right, we just get into the market, so we have some hundreds users in our platform.
And what are your main sales channel? How do you get these new customers? Is it ads, or do you partner up with athletes, with brands?
Okay, we use a multi-channel way. Let's start from the beginning. Firstly, we have developed our e-shop in our website, Darefore.com. And secondly, we have attended several exhibitions, and from there we had developed some networking and some communication with distributors. So we have some distributors that are working with us. We have been in some local shops, and now we are in Amazon.com. Also, we are in the US Amazon, where we have initiated our sales there too.
Right. And your athletes, like, can they cut their times on the bike by like 5%, 10%? Like, what kind of results are you getting in average?
Yeah. It depends exactly from the level of the athlete. There are athletes that, yes, we can achieve 10% if they manage to maintain exactly. If they manage to maintain an ideal aero position, the ideal position is very strict, and they can be either using our default ranges or they can set their own custom position. They can do that after a bike fitting or any other way they want to do. But in elite athletes, this can be from 0.5 to 1%. But it's not only that; is they can understand in each different position other metrics too. So they know what heart rate, what power, what speed, what balance, what cadence they have in a certain position.
Very interesting. And do you have other projects in the pipeline, right? Like unlocking the running economy, position data on smart glasses, weightlifting, performance/posture, and even rowing. So how do you determine which one would be a priority? Because I guess it's dependent on how much customers you'll get from that and the product market fit, right? Which is a complex equation. So how do you determine like which one would be a next priority?
It's both ways. It's first of all, yes, you have to. It's a business. It's a company. You have to understand the market needs. If there would be an adoption rate, a high adoption rate. But secondly, you have to be certain that you have an added value in this market. That your sensor and your algorithms can actually help users, help the athletes in that market to get better, to prevent injuries. And you have to find exactly the correct formula with certain weights to see in which sport you have to pay more attention. As you already mentioned, we have been testing our sensor and our algorithms in running. And we saw there is a potential, since we get very interesting results in a very easy and accurate way. And secondly, we saw that our algorithms are very easily adapted in rowing, and the injury prevention can be directed into weightlifting. So these are the main aspects and the main, let's say, areas that we want to concentrate our efforts.
And tell me a bit more about injury prevention, right? Because in our triathlon sport, in Ironmans, it's notorious, the injuries, like we all get injured, especially because we run on pavement. Pavement is quite hard on the knees. Why is it so preventive? Because I remember getting injured right before my first Ironman, and there was like a red light therapy, which wasn't super effective. I would stretch, I would use the Theragun, but it seems the injury wouldn't go away until I used the Vibram Barefoots. Oddly enough, I think that really cured me. Why is it so reactive, and why is injury prevention still an obscure science?
Yeah, we taken advantage of the AI revolution, right? So we get data from a lot of athletes. We have a rich database, and we see some patterns, and we try to prevent injuries, giving suggestions, giving some insights, trying to let's say understand how each athlete moves now for cycling, tomorrow in running, and learning his pattern movement and his form. We see stabilities, imbalances during the time, and if things changes during his training, during his session, even in a time period of let's say a month or even a week, then we give some warnings, right? And we try to see what causes that imbalance. Maybe it's the high level of intensity. Maybe it's a certain power zone, or even it's a certain body angle. So we see that in a certain body angle, you have some imbalances. In your left foot, you have less power than in your right foot if you have this body angle for a certain period of time. So we give you this insight, and we give you some recommendations how to prevent this. This could be either with some exercises or to avoid a certain ranges related to body angles now.
Right, and ultimately, wouldn't you need 3D body scanning to really size up the injury? And what is a good preventive measure, generally speaking, for injuries?
All right. Our philosophy is to have a simple app and a simple sensor to be used in a daily basis, with not a lot of complicated information or even a sophisticated approach, meaning that the user wants to have certain recommendations, what is wrong and how can be prevented. Of course, the 3D scans and more analytical ways can be used in labs or even in a controlled environment. But in real life, and when an athlete is going for a daily training session, he wants to have a very simple tool to use it in each individual session, and with minimal effort. So we don't recommend to have 3D scans in his daily routine, but having some smart ways to monitor and to correct things is much more efficient.
Right. And last but not least, what are your top goals for this year? How do you want to grow the company?
How I want to, sorry?
Grow the company.
Grow, all right. Firstly, we want to increase our cycling market adoption. So we want to have more cyclists in our platform and triathletes. But secondly, we would like to have our first running application in the market too. We are planning to go to US the following months to have some meetings there and to start some collaboration with some interested companies in the United States. So we'll see how this will evolve. We will also be present in Eurobike, which is the most important and biggest cycling exhibition, at least in Europe. So we expect to have some more publicity also there. We expect that the company will also grow in all aspects, having not only more applications, but also some more features in each different sport.
Right. And tell me also, like personally, what does your day-to-day look like as a CEO, as an athlete as well? What habits are you nurturing nowadays to be happier and more performant at work?
Okay. To be honest, I'm trying again to get back into shape so I can go to races, because I've missed that. I've been to some half Ironman races, and that was game changing for me. It gave me all the passion and all the inspiration to go to develop and establish Darefore. But for the last couple of years, I was very busy developing the application, the platform, and the whole company. But now I have decided that I have to go get back into shape. I want to get to be involved also in local races and international races. So I started again the training. Every morning I start either running or cycling, indoor mostly, the cycling. I have incorporated some swimming in the weekends, at least in the weekends. So I'm spending around 5 or 6 hours for now weekly in training, cycling, running, and swimming, and a couple of hours of some other training like weightlifting or rowing. This mostly happens in the early morning, around 5 to 6:30 a.m. And then we have our breakfast and then go to the company. We have developers all around the world, so we start communication from 6:30 in the morning till 10 p.m. In the night. Since, as you already mentioned, we are in Cyprus, we are a small island, so we had to bring into the company people all around the world, and this also gave us the ability to have a strong team. We didn't stay locally. We wanted to have people that have the experience and the know-how to get us to the international level, and I think we have established that. These are what we get as a feedback, at least. So from the morning until the night, we are in the company in communication with our staff, and also in communication with our athletes, with our ambassadors, and we are fully occupied with this project.
Love it. And where can people find out more about you, Marios?
You mean about Darefore, right?
Yeah, and yourself.
All right. Firstly, we have a rich website, darefore.com, where a lot of information over there. They can sign up for our newsletter. We send a very informative newsletter every week, so it's good to have you there. I have my profile in LinkedIn, Marios Kyriakou, and of course, you can also find me on social media for any other question you may have.
Love it. That was Marios Kyriakou and Charles Gourmet for another